Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing some more historic Brawl again, because it's only here temporarily, and if Wizards force me to play it in a small space of time, then that's just what we're going to have to do, isn't it? Today we're going to be playing another revisit deck, one I haven't revisited in quite a long time. It's going to be Captain Sisay. This one's it's an interesting deck because it's a cool little archetype that is very close to my heart. It's legendary tribal. So Captain Sisay, 4 mana, Selesnya 2/2. Search your library for a legendary card, reveal that card and put it into your hand, and then shuffle. So the whole point of this deck is essentially to get Sisay down as early as possible. We can do that on turn 3 through several different means. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of this 2-drop slot allows me to get him down. Everything but Blackblade Reforged. I think that's it. All of these cards here aid in getting Sisay down on turn 3. That's quite important because Sisay is easy to kill. And if Sisay doesn't get killed, you usually run away with the game. This deck also does have a little bit of a combo finish, which is different to the last time we played it, which I'll get into in just a moment. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird mid-range list. I've had a mixed results with this one, honestly. I think it's just a little bit of a bad meta call at the moment, but it's still really fun. We've got a fair few wins out of it, but we've also got a fair few losses at the same time. But let's talk about the combo, shall we? As always with combos, Paradox Engine finds its way into there. It says whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. So basically all of these rocks that we've been playing here then get to untap whenever we cast a spell, which means Sisay can tap to search for a legendary card. We can play that legendary card. Sisay untaps, as well as our rocks. Depending on our rocks, depends on what we're going to be grabbing. We have a 0 and a 1 legendary that we can grab with Captain Sisay, so that allows us to generate some mana as long as we've got 2 or more of these arcane signets and whatnot. Replicating ring as well included in that. And yeah, we basically chain together lots of spells, tapping as we go. Oh, also, I forgot, Kolvari has the Ring Heart crest. That's another reason why we're running that one. Probably won't be casting Kolvari on the front side, but there you go. Yeah, this is a combo. It's pretty cool. The rest of the deck, obviously, is a little bit of a mid-range list. We're on a low creature count, so we are still running Wrath of Gods and Day of Judgments. I just find them to be pretty useful overall, especially when we're just that far ahead. Our creatures are kind of singular and powerful on their own, but our opponent can go wide and get around them quite easily. So we need a way to reset the board whenever possible. Captain Sisay also untaps into a board wipe with Urza's Ruinous Blast, a legendary sorcery that exiles all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. So one-sided for the most part on our end. You do have to be careful, because the replicating rings, the Mind Stones, the Guardian Idols, all of those will go away. So I would suggest if you do find yourself in a situation where you do need the Urza's Ruinous Blast, which usually ends up in your favor anyway, even if you do lose the mana rocks, you want to make sure that you float your mana with these, because they're going to die. I'll also mention as well, in today's game, I do make a critical error, so it's going to be interesting to see how many of the pro players don't watch the deck techs, because Ashire's in here, and Ashire does an interesting thing, and by interesting I mean kind of messes with our combo a little bit. 5 mana, power equal to the toughness, power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Non-token creatures you control are forest lands, in addition to their other types. So we have the ability with Ashire to use our creatures as lands. However, they don't untap with Paradox Engine, because Paradox Engine only untaps non-lands. I make this mistake. I might even mention it several times that it's a cool combo that we can do. I want to stress right now, it's not a cool combo you can do. And yeah, it has consequences to do it. So if you're comboing Paradox Engine, don't grab Ashire. Grab anything else. Otherwise, Ashire is really still pretty good. We do have a very good Ashire game in today's footage, so stay tuned for that. That's basically all I'm going to get into as far as this deck's concerned. You may notice a distinct lack of Planeswalkers. I guess this is the final thing I will mention. A distinct lack of Planeswalkers. The only one we actually have is Nissa, who shakes the world. The reason why we're running this with the Immortal Sun is because she has a passive, and her passive is useful even when she can't actually activate any of her abilities. So that's why she's in here. Otherwise, I have teched this in such a way that we can run the Immortal Sun to shut down like a Seeker Planeswalkers or something like that, if we do end up coming up against that. It also gives cost reduction as well, which is really nice for our Paradox Engine combo, so all of these rocks become 1 mana, some of them become free, that kind of thing. So being able to get cheaper creatures, cheaper spells, sorry, additional draws, and shutting off Planeswalkers, I think is a powerful ability. Do I think that this deck could benefit from Planeswalkers? Probably. But the one Planeswalker that will be definitely improved by is Ugin the Spirit Dragon, and I will eat my shoe before I run that in a deck that doesn't need to run it. So, there you go. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in. This hand is completely unplayable, so we'll hit the free mull on that. This hand is playable, so we'll hit the keep button. We're going up against Sorin Imperious Bloodlord. Pretty much speaks for itself as far as the archetype's concerned. 3 mana, 4 loyalty. Target creature you control gains Death Touch and lifelink, and if it's a vampire, you put a counter on it. I should say a lot. We're going to put this on... we're going to put it on Archer Vraska. I might be untapping the Snow-Covered Forest with Nissa. This opens me up to Field of Ruin a little bit, though. Anyway, +1, you can Lightning Helix by yeeting a vampire, and then the -3 puts any vampire from your hand onto the battlefield. So they're going to go ahead and put Drana into play. It's pretty huge for them, for sure. So we have 3, 4 mana... So I'm just going to go Replicating Ring here. I don't know if I'm shocking myself just... Actually, no. I know completely I'm not going to shock myself to play Shadowsphere. I have a Replicating Ring. Don't be silly. Alright. Drana's kind of annoying. I'd really just love a Wrath of God. That would be... That'd be a chef's kiss moment right here. Otherwise, this could be quite problematic. Ruinous Blast doesn't get rid of half the cards I need it to. Oh, Swords to Plowshares does, though. So we're going to go Nissa, who ruins the game. We are going to untap the Temple Garden, which was a pretty good pickup for our deck. Kill the Sorin. And then we'll Swords the Drana. We'll wait on the swordsing of said Drana, but we will eventually probably do that. It's not a card I really want to live. And, yeah, I don't think anything our opponent could play here can actually prevent it. Don't care so much about this vampire. Remove up to 3 counters from a target creature. Solid. Swords your Drana. Goodbye, Temple Garden. Nissa takes a little beating. I actually don't have double white anymore, which is annoying. But should be okay, right? We cut off our white entirely if I went with the Nurse's Ruinous Blast, and it'd be only to get rid of a 3/3 in an arena. So I don't know if that's necessarily the smartest idea. I don't know who I want to risk, really. I think I'll go with the Ashaya. Let's go with the Archer Vraska. The reason being if Nissa dies and I went with the snow-covered forest, I open up the last of my green for removal, or green mana at least, from lands. I think it's better just to offer this trade, if a trade is offered at all. Phyrexian Obliterator. Alright. Taking that Ruinous Blast is looking quite nice. I'll take this.
Let us talk of peace.
Helm of the Host. Flow, unflow.
Rise, my elemental friend.
There's our 5. Goodbye, replicating ring. I hope to see white mana in the future, but for now, this board state cannot be allowed to stay as is. Oh, everything's forest actually as well, thanks to Nissa. So maybe we go Helm of the Host. Swing for 3. Forgot that everything's forest as long as it's a creature. Yeah, I guess we'll go with Helm of the Host here. This can at least help me make my land drops. In a really roundabout fashion, but I don't know. All you have to do is kill a Shire, and then that's not really the case, but dodged a bullet there, it seems. Alright, so now let's Helm up a Shire. And tick up Nissa.
The land shall conquer you.
Make another Ashaya, who will hold back to block. Bolus's Citadel. Oh dear, let the RNG fiesta begin. Already targeting important cards. You hate to see it. Oh, it's 3/3 damage. This one exiles my graveyard. Sure, totally fine. Other than ECD, don't really use it. And there's nothing in there that actually cares. Right? I don't actually have... Nope, I have absolutely 0 use for my graveyard. Oh, they've took it back? Are they allowed to do that? That's rude. Draw and lose. Thoughtseize. Help yourself. Can't cast it. It's all uncastable garbage. Down to 17. They can't activate Night now, which is cool, so as long as the top of their deck isn't a removal spell, Nissa lives to fight another day. Okay, Sanctum Seeker in hand. Down to 15. Sun Petal Grove. Tap. Untap. Now it's a forest. Now we go... let's do... No, actually, let's not do that. That sounds like a bad idea. Let's do a bit of this. Get you in play. Helm up again. I don't mind having lots of Ashayas. You're not death touching. None of you are. Okay, good to know. Let's go you, and you then. Absolutely send it at our opponent. They're at 15, so they have to do some blocking. What a wild little board state. Okay. Some single blocks. Love to see it. Alright, they have an Ayara. I have the ability to put a Guardian Idol in play. Or equip my Shadow Spear. Which one of those is relevant? Or having a 3-3 back. I don't think the 3-3 back matters. I'm not sure the Shadow Spear really matters either, so let's just go tapped Idol here. It's another attacking threat, right? So maybe we'll give it that shot. This is the weirdest board state I have maybe ever encountered in Magic the Gathering history. Okay, Sorin. Sorin can put a vampire into play so that they can sack it to Ayara. And that allows them to draw the top card. But they're on 14, they need to wipe this board, and they're not even willing to give it a shot. Probably fair. probably quite fair. It's a weird one. I find it mostly weird that this thing doesn't really pump itself when you make more copies of it, but I guess it's non-token creatures are forest lands, so yeah, these guys aren't lands, I guess, is maybe why these don't get pumped up, but yeah, it's a thing, all right. I don't know, maybe I should have actually gone Helm over onto one of the lands instead, but they actually, if I did that, they would be non-creature lands during my combat phase, so I don't know. Kind of like the idea of the 5/5s being a threatening force that makes our opponent concede, because it clearly worked, so yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, but I'll take it. Next game. Alrighty, we go first. We technically don't have a playable hand, but our opponent is playing Killian Ink Duelist, which makes me think I have a lot of time to work with. Although, I guess maybe this could be like a Voltron-style Protect the Queen kind of deck, and then maybe Killian on 2 needs to die. Otherwise, it just becomes absurdly big and indestructible. So maybe I'll take the mull. Oh yeah, this one looks just much better, so feeling quite happy about the decision. We've got a turn 3 Captain Sisay or a Shalai if we really want it. Don't know if we necessarily would. I'm going to put this on green so we can maybe enable Nissa, who ruins the game. Even on my side of the battlefield, she ruins everything. Alright, here's Killian. We drew our legendary land, unfortunately, but we do still have a Mox Amber we can grab, so that's not the end of the world, I suppose. Not that we'd even really need it, but it does allow us to cast 6 drops if we top deck like Immortal Sun or something. So I think we're going to go with Sisay here because it makes our opponent have the answer. And maybe they use premium removal that they might otherwise want to use on Nissa. I get the impression that they're like an Auras list, though. Bloodchief's first. So that was 2 mana. Oh, it just targets a creature. I think it targets a creature you control. So Knight of Autumn could be pretty good here. You're a forest, which is good for the Nissa. Let's go God Eternal Ketra. Hard to kill. Has upside if it lives. And I would say it's also just a must-answer threat, especially with, like, Tristani on the way. Maze Mine Tome, that's a really good sign. Take 2. Opponent's taking 6 back, so they gotta play something. Otherwise, that doesn't make too much sense. Alright, D-Spark. Look at all this quality removal that Nissa is now dodging. Love to see it. So we don't do what the game wants us to do, because it's a very bad idea. We instead do this, which is a very good idea. Nissa can tap this for 2. And then can untap this for 2. And then we can play a Shalai. Look at that. This move would not be possible without the assistance of myself. The auto tapper is not going to help me. Alright, take 2.
Cease this aggression.
So far, I'm not seeing a reason why our opponent is playing Killian. To be honest. So we can play Tristani. Going wide. You need 6, and this mana does allow me to activate the abilities. So we got 2. Yeah, we want to untap. Let's just do a forest. I mean, they can't be targeted anyway. I guess the only blowout I've really got is a board wipe, and well, I'd say they don't seem the type, but I also don't really know what my opponent is doing. This allows me to play around Languish, which is kind of nice. Giant Killer, sure. Everything can now be seen again by our opponent. Can I play a Ketra and something else here? I'm not quite sure. I imagine I probably could if I wanted to. Not sure if I necessarily would, though, because our opponent will probably be running out of removal at this point, and therefore, like, Captain Sisay is the plan. This kind of screams board wipe and potential blowout. Yeah. It's a bit of an oof. But could be worse. Let's go Captain Sisay. I get the feeling they're out of removal now. D-Spark, Bloodchief's Thirst, and Cleansing Nova down. Contempt hits the Nissa.
I can help you no longer.
It's probably totally fine, as long as Sisay lives. Might just see Giant Killer and Tome here, but nope. Okay, so now I have, let's see, the ability to play Paradox Engine, I guess. Would that be the right call, though? Or would there be some other silver bullet card I'm not thinking of here? Elspeth Conquers Death doesn't do anything. Urza's Ruinous Blast, I feel like, does more harm than good at this point. Play Tolsimir, don't really need that. Maybe a Shire. Let's go grab a Shire. A Shire means all of our creatures are lands. Which means we can tap them for mana if we got Paradox Engine. I guess I should have done this after the attack, but I do get kind of the impression that if we're going to win, it's going to be in spectacular fashion anyway, so I'm hoping the 3 points doesn't matter here. So now we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 mana to work with. That means Paradox Engine plus Night of Autumn is an untap, leaving us with 4 mana to play with, so we can Sisay for a 4-drop, get Mangara, then get Call of Vori, then get Questing Beast. Get the idea, really. Might even have some cheap ones so we can generate mana. Nope. Opponent dodged that combo bullet with a top deck Murderous Rider. Well, since the Snow-Covered Plains is getting tapped here, we might as well attack in. Play a Ketra. I'm not too fussed about either of these just yet. Play Scattered Groves. I mean, maybe I should care more about Treasure Map. It's a little bit of a draw thing, but like, I feel like they'll be dead long before that becomes relevant. And something like Urza's Ruinous Blast can take good care of it as well. Okay, tops, that's never a good sign. They can swing here, or they can block 8 points of damage. I feel like a swing was probably fine, because they've got the Murderous Rider and the Giant Killer. Wow! Opponent with these top decks. That is insane. Full sweep ahead. Sure. Now we got a Field of Ruin. Kind of puts a damper on what we're doing, but still. At least we're back on the board with the Captain Sisay. Hovering my Sisay, ready to kill it at any moment's notice. Got to draw with Maze Mind Tome if they haven't found it. But they have. I mean, what do you do? What do you do with such an absurd set of draws? Just marvel at this deck that seems like it probably shouldn't do too much, but instead is absolutely wrecking face. Yeah, I mean, Day of Judgment, I guess. Day of Judgment, I guess. Pass the turn. Card advantage engine well and truly fixed with the Professor Onyx here. Plus the Arch of Araska. Plus the Dawn of Hope. It just never ends. So now they can draw here, gain life, draw with the Dawn. Combo off the top, I guess. Yeah, I mean... Again, I don't really understand why Killian's their commander, except for the sake of being a Strixhaven card that's new. I guess maybe it cheapens removal, that's their idea. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. I still feel like I'd rather have, like, Athreos. I mean, there's plenty, Liliana. There are plenty of answers. And they're just all popping off on our opponent's side. Another life gain trigger for the Dawn of Hope, but obviously not going to work there. Can I Garenbrig? I can't Garenbrig and got Eternal Ketra, which means most likely this is just dead and doesn't get me any value. But again, like, what else am I supposed to do? Opponent is actually a god. I am playing God of War right now. And losing spectacularly. Loses the Onyx to kill the Ketra. Never a good sign. I'm still going to take the Ketra, because she's sufficiently annoying. Opponent's clearly annoyed by it. I'm not sure if it's necessarily the best draw we could have at any given time, but... Alright, time to leave. Next game, guys. This is absurd. Oh, Yorion. Oh, God. This hand has a turn 3 Captain Sisay, but Yorion is basically counterspell tribal, so hard to tell whether or not any of that is actually going to happen. Kogla's pretty good, though, because they do tend to have a fair few artifacts and enchantments, case in point. So that's kind of nice to see. Let's just go with... Not sure it really matters. Go with the Arcane Signet. We've got all of the 2-mana ramp spells anyway, so... Opponent goes with a Fibblethip, Giving me the potential to resolve a Sisay. Potential acquired. No doubt that is probably because they have the removal, but we have to make them have it. If we don't at least make them have it, they'll just hold it. And we've got a 5-drop, 6-drop follow-up, so it's not the end of the world. Interesting choice. So they're gonna get off planes, gonna draw a card, and let me do whatever I want. Oh, that's nice. What do I want? 3, 4, 5. I could get a Tolsamir. I could get an Urza's Ruinous Blast, which goes bam, 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 bam. Not exactly overpowered. Mangara's okay. Shalai's not bad. Yeah, we could do Shalai. Shalai makes it quite difficult for them. Yeah, let's go with the Shalai. So this on here. And Shalai give me hexproof as well as my Sisay. Don't have to worry about Planeswalkers with the Immortal Sun, which is kind of nice. Don't really care about the Yorion right now, because we haven't taken damage up until this point. Ugin, who can't be effed. Kills my Shalai. Well, that's a little bit late. Let's play Immortal Sun, I suppose. Tap this. We could get a Mox Amber, or we could set up for the Ruinous Blast. What's our opponent's option for Immortal Sun? It's going to be like a Banishing Light, right? So I might want to find an answer to that. We could also go Paradox Engine, but I want to untap before I pick a card like that, because it won't do me much good otherwise. Yeah, I think we just take the Ruinous Blast. Cryptic Caves, we'll bottom that. Alright. So Ugin's down, we're drawing 2. Hopefully have the ability to blast at a moment's notice. Deputy takes Immortal Sun, I guess? I mean, they've got to take the Legendary that can help me cast Ruinous Blast, otherwise I get all this back. I'm just going to say... no. You can stay right where you are, Captain Sisay, don't you worry, I'll get you back in no time. Opponent Solemns into the Ruinous Blast. So I can play Redain Blast. Alright. It's got to be counter magic, so... it's a thing. I'm going to be using this anyway if I'm blasting, so... and then I started blasting. Oof. Mindstone or Llanowar Elves? Not sure it matters too much. I guess Llanowar Elves is green mana for the Paradox Engine that I might be grabbing next turn. Cold Steel Heart on blue. Guard Mage, sure. Just gotta dodge a board wipe. That's all we really have to do here. And then we get to do some fun stuff. Quasi-duplicate the Guard Mage. Alright. So this is our turn. This is where we make the magic happen. Or we hope, at least. No blocks. Alright, draw Harmonize. Evolving Wilds. So, let's go... Llanowar Elves... Actually, we don't need to do that. If we're taking Paradox Engine, we're tapping that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into Mindstone, untap with 2 mana, but one's colorless. Yeah, it doesn't kind of get us there right now. So what else can we get? Don't quite have enough for, like, Helm of the Host shenanigans. Let's just have a go and look into our deck. It might just be as simple as just, like, big value creature, who knows. Although, actually, no, we'll go Paradox Engine. Just had a thought. Play Paradox Engine. It also costs 4 because it's cheaper, which is nice. Then we untap. Tap you, tap you. Mox Amber. Play Mox Amber. Tap you. Tap you, tap you. A Shire. Untap the squad. Tap you, tap you, tap you. Tap you. Search again. We got 5 mana. Now we'll just go like Nissa who shakes the world. Play you. Tap you. Tap you. Did we not untap our... Wait, why did we not untap our Sisay and stuff? What did I miss? I maybe blacked out for a moment there, but I feel like we should have untapped. Untap all non-land permanents you control. Oh, they're lands now because of a Shire. Reading the cards explains the cards. Reading them is a solid idea a lot of the time. Can't believe I made that crucial error. Well, now we know. And now our opponent Wrath of God says it makes us feel bad. We got Nissa even though we have Immortal Sun because all of our creatures are forests, so I was hoping to double them and untap with them, but I'm not that smart apparently. Wrath of God. Shalai's already in the bin. Alright, let's search out for a decent answer. We could get a Shadow Spear or a Black Blade Reforged, or we could get both. Both is also fine. We could play the God Eternal Aketra. I think we just go like Shadow Spear. Tap you, play you for free. And equip you on a Shire. Yeah, this is a mistake. This card should not be in the deck, as it turns out. Because now I don't get to repeatedly Sisay, because I'm an idiot. Harmonize. Tap you. Tap you. Untap all of you. Green. Tap you. Tap you. Artifacts and enchantments I might want to kill. Not really. Let's play Kogla. Get rid of Yorion. So It's a shame you're not a human. that would actually let me bounce you away. And that might have been ideal. Okay. Play the forest. Play you like so. Questing beast. And it's probably all I really need to do at this stage. I guess I could hit the mobilized district with a Field of Ruin. That works, I suppose. They do technically have a Blast Zone, but I don't want to draw attention to it because most people end up forgetting that it exists, and I want to basically play around that being a possibility here. So Night of Autumn is basically not worth playing, I don't think. So let's just send it in. Oh, I don't like this, actually. I've just suddenly come to the conclusion that getting Settle the Wreckage is not really on my list of things I want to be doing. I'm going to keep the Redain around. I'm going to let the Ashaya get settled, because that means we can continue to combo. Ugin's dealt with because of the Questing Beast as well. Wouldn't have been a concern if we had a Shalai still. They let it all go. Interesting. They're at 9. Ugin dies. I will move this over here. And pass it on up. So, correctly assumed our opponent would not pay attention to their Blast Zone. It's not something you can get rid of, get away with in like a pro setting, but like in a casual environment like Historic Brawl, playing to your opponent not knowing their cards exist is definitely a valid strategy. Field of Ruin. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay, Yorion brings back the team they'd hid below. But they're not on double white, so a Wrath, which is something they need here, won't cut it. Now I can Knight of Autumn the Skittering Surveyor out of the way. Well, actually, I don't even need to do that, because Kogler attacks and does it for me. But yeah, no concerns for Settle the Wreckage anymore. Alright, let's see what Glorious Protector wants to do. Non-Angels wants to leave it in play. As your lawyer, I would agree with that being a good assessment. Gilded Goose. Alright, we're not ramping or comboing into anything special here, I don't think. Although, Sisay should go and have a look in my deck anyway. So we can get something like Tristani or Blackblade in this case, I think is probably a good call. Even Helm of the Hosts. If I get Blackblade, though, I get +1 for each of my lands, and then a Shire becomes huge, massive. It's an option. We could also just have a huge, massive double a Shire with Helm of the Host, but I like Blackblade. I don't play it enough. Remember, all of my lands are also... All of my creatures, sorry, are also lands. So I might as well just shove it on Redain here, I think. It's a 1920. Night of Autumn kills Skittering Surveyor and a +1/+1 to Redain. blocker out the way. Gildagoose. Probably might as well crack my Mind Stone as well. I'm not sure what I could draw, but I guess it's worth looking. We're going to have to assume that Redane isn't dead here, essentially. Well, the Replicating Ring is a worthy replacement, if not just completely pointless. Alright. So, settle check. Check. Lifelink check. Check. Send it check. Check. Goodbye, Cold Steel Heart. Blast Zone check. Check. I guess rid of the trample on the Redane, but I guess maybe... No, I don't think it would have made much difference to put it on Questing Beast, because both the Protector and the Orion there can block it. Yes, it basically wouldn't make a difference where I put it, I don't think so. Whew! Alright, well, Ashaya, gotta think twice about that one, because that does not combo with Paradox Engine like I originally thought it did. Good to know, good to know. Either way though guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe as well for more Historic Brawl content in the future. Probably not going to get time to record much more than this for the channel, so next time you'll probably see it as stream highlights, most likely, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed anyway, and hopefully they bring it back permanently, and then we can play against strangers with interesting decks like this one. And yeah, take care guys, have a wonderful night.